Over 1.5 million people left California in net domestic migration over the last few years. The Census Bureau confirmed it. And the question everyone keeps asking is, why? The answer isn't politics, it isn't weather, it's math. And the math stopped making sense for millions of people. The median home price in California right now is just over $900,000. The median home price in the rest of the United States is around $400,000. That's not a gap. That's a different planet. To afford a median home in California, a household needs to earn roughly $190,000 a year. The median household income in California is around $91,000. That means the average California family earns less than half of what they need to comfortably buy a home in the state they already live in. In Texas, that same income, $91,000, puts you well above what you need to buy a median-priced home. In Arizona, you're comfortable. In Nevada, you're buying with room to spare. This is the first number that explains the exodus. Not frustration, not politics. Pure, simple math. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, hit subscribe. We do this every week. Real economics, real numbers, no noise. And it wasn't always like this. In the 1990s, California's housing costs were high but manageable. A middle-class family could realistically save for a down payment and buy a home within a decade. That window has been closing for 30 years. For most people under 40 living in California today, it's essentially shut. Housing is just the start. California has the highest state income tax in the United States, 14.4% at the top bracket. If you earn a good salary in California, you are handing more of it to the state than anywhere else in the country. Add to that, gas. California's gas prices are consistently among the highest in the nation, often $1 to $1.50 above the national average. That's not a small number when you're filling up every week. Groceries. The cost of a basic grocery basket in Los Angeles or San Francisco runs roughly 20 to 30% higher than the national average. Utilities. California's electricity rates are among the most expensive in the continental United States. Car insurance. California drivers pay some of the highest car insurance premiums in the country, with rates in Los Angeles regularly coming in above $200 a month for basic coverage. When you add it all up, housing, taxes, gas, food, utilities, insurance, a family in California needs to earn significantly more just to match the purchasing power of a family earning an average salary in Texas or Florida. That's not a quality of life advantage. That's an economic trap, a useful way to think about it. $100 in California buys you roughly $87 worth of goods compared to the national average. In Texas, that same $100 buys you about $108 worth. That difference compounds across every purchase, every month, every year. Over a decade, it becomes the difference between building wealth and treading water. So where did they go? Texas took the largest share. Roughly 77,000 Californians moved to Texas in a single recent year, according to Census Bureau data. They were followed by Arizona, Nevada, Washington, and Florida. The pattern is consistent. Lower housing costs, no state income tax in the case of Texas, Florida, and Nevada, and in many cases, a faster-growing job market. A study by the University of California at Berkeley tracked people who left the state between 2016 and 2025. On average, people who left California moved to neighborhoods where monthly housing costs were $672 lower. After 7 years, they were 48% more likely to own a home. Renters saw their monthly costs drop by about $631. These are not people who gave up. These are people who won, at least financially. Nevada is the standout destination on a per capita basis, receiving a net 81 Californians per 10,000 residents annually. That's followed by Idaho, Oregon, and Arizona. These states are not just absorbing people, they are being reshaped by them. Home prices in Boise, Idaho, and Phoenix, Arizona have climbed significantly as California buyers arrived with California sale proceeds and outbid locals. The ripple effects of the California exodus are showing up in the housing markets of the states that received them. Moving out of California isn't free, and that matters. A professional moving truck from Los Angeles to Dallas costs somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000, depending on the size of the move and the time of year. That's a real barrier for people who don't have savings. This is why the data shows something uncomfortable. The people leaving California are disproportionately lower and middle-income families. While wealthy departures make the headlines, the vast majority of those fleeing are working-class residents priced out of their own neighborhoods. The people who most need the California dream are exactly the ones forced to abandon it. And here's what makes it more complex. California is simultaneously losing domestic residents and gaining international migrants, immigrants coming from abroad, attracted by the economy, the universities, and the opportunity, have actually kept California's total population from falling even further. Historically, international arrivals more than offset domestic departures. While that pipeline slowed during the peak of the recent exodus, it remains a crucial buffer keeping California's population from dropping even further. So, the state is not emptying out. It's changing. The departing population is split. Working-class families fleeing impossible costs, and established middle-class homeowners cashing out their equity. Meanwhile, the people arriving tend to be newcomers starting fresh. Whether that trade works out for California over the long run is one of the defining economic questions of the next decade. Here's where it gets serious for the state itself. Every high earner who leaves California takes their tax dollars with them. California's income tax is so progressive that the top 1% of earners pay roughly 50% of all personal income tax revenue in the state. When those earners leave, the state budget feels it almost immediately. California has been running significant budget deficits. In 2024 and 2025, the state faced deficits in the tens of billions of dollars. The departure of high-income residents is a direct contributor. Los Angeles County recorded the largest population drop of any county in the nation between July 2024 and July 2025. Roughly 54,000 people in 1 year. That's not a county losing students or retirees. That's a county losing its tax base. And here's the compounding problem. As higher earners leave, the cost of public services stays the same, or grows, but there are fewer people to pay for them. That means either cuts to services or higher taxes on those who remain, which gives the next wave of people one more reason to go. Economists call this a doom loop. California is not in a full doom loop. The economy is still enormous and still generating enormous wealth. But the structural risk is real. It's not just individuals. In the last several years, major companies have relocated their headquarters or significant operations out of California. Tesla moved to Texas. Charles Schwab moved to Texas. McKesson, CBRE, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, all Texas. When a company moves, it doesn't just take its tax payments, it takes jobs. And when jobs move, the people who hold those jobs often follow. The film and television industry, historically one of California's most iconic economic engines, has been bleeding productions to states with more generous tax incentives. Georgia, New York, New Mexico, and even the United Kingdom have been pulling Hollywood productions away from Los Angeles for years. This has a direct impact on a wide range of workers, from actors and directors to the electricians, caterers, and drivers who make productions run. And yet, and this is important, California's GDP has kept growing. The state is still the fifth largest economy in the world. Silicon Valley is still the center of global technology. The venture capital flowing into California still dwarfs what goes anywhere else. The paradox of California is that it can be simultaneously one of the most economically powerful places on Earth and a place where the average working family cannot afford to live comfortably. Both things are true at the same time, so let's bring it back to the math. More than 1.5 million people left California in net domestic migration. They didn't leave because of one thing. They left because of the combination, a housing market that priced them out, taxes that took more than anywhere else, a cost of living that outpaced their income, and the knowledge that in Texas or Arizona or Nevada, the same salary would go dramatically further. The people who stayed made a choice too. Maybe they have roots that matter more than savings. Maybe they work in an industry that only exists there. Maybe they genuinely love the state and believe it will correct course. Those are all valid reasons, but the economics of leaving, the pure financial case for going, has rarely been stronger. And the data on people who left suggests that most of them, measured purely by their balance sheets, made the right call. The question California has to answer isn't why over 1.5 million people left. It's what it will take to make the math work for the people still there. Because right now, for a lot of them, it doesn't. That's the economics of leaving California.